Normally when we think about a player having the yips, one of the major aspects of the condition is how isolating it feels, right? Because more than likely no one else on your team is experiencing the same things. But what if I were to tell you the Detroit Tigers right now have not one, but two infielders dealing with variations of this condition? And what's more, they're actually double play partners some of the time. I'm talking about second baseman Colt Keith and shortstop Trey Sweeney, who have combined this year already for 8 errors in just 300 innings played, and a number of odd-looking plays that weren't even considered errors. Let's start first with Keith, since he transitioned mid-April to being almost a DH-only player because of his struggles. Now, as is typical with the condition, harder plays have been much more routine for Cole. As you can see here, him ranging up the middle on a couple of tough chances before going to his right on the next two as well. Each of these is made pretty routinely, even though their degree of difficulty is, let's say, maybe above a 5 out of 10. Now check out these plays, each of which are far below that. The first two we're going to look at being against the Yankees, where on this routine ground ball, he would not only botch it, but then fire it nowhere close to the first baseman. And then on this one, not even get around the ball as he angled himself to throw to second. That first error ended up costing the team greatly as well, as they would rally versus closer Devin Williams in the bottom of the ninth, but the deficit had gotten too big courtesy of that bizarre looking play. The same was also true of this one versus Seattle, which didn't even end up going down as an error, when he fielded this grounder with 2 outs and then, for some reason, spun to throw to second before hesitating and then just going to first. A throw that was late, which put 2 guys on for Victor Robles, who would then give his team a 2-run lead with a double to center field. The final score in that game? 3-2. Recently, in one of the few games he actually did get to start at second, we even saw him make this play where he didn't even try to get the out going towards the bag, even though the runner wasn't particularly close, turning what should have been a first and third situation with 1 out into a second and third, which is obviously substantially worse. But I will say a lot of these are more of a modified version of the yips, being that it's affecting his glove work right now and decision making more than just his throwing arm. But the same cannot be said of his sometimes double play partner Trey Sweeney, who, much like Keith, has been excellent making non-traditional plays recently, often ranging over from wherever he's positioned to make an on-the-run throw look easy. But boy oh boy have his routine plays started suffering. Here's a low throw he made leading off a game versus the Orioles that put Cedric Mullins on first base. You can't even really have a play that's easier than that on a major league field. And then he did almost the exact same thing the following day on an even slower runner, this time being bailed out by his first baseman Spencer Torkelson. But my goodness, did things really hit a low point during a game versus the Astros yesterday when he made back-to-back errors, successfully grabbing this ball at deep short nicely with Yainer Diaz running, and then making a wide toss to the bag, a play that was actually similar to this one versus the Royals from just about a week earlier, when his problems really started percolating. But the cherry on top of all of this was literally on the next pitch, when Cam Smith grounded one of the more routine double play balls you'll ever see to short, only to watch Sweeney throw it nowhere close to the bag at second. Gleyber Torres really did all he could there, but it was of no use. The Stros would go on to score 4 runs before that inning was over, and then, much like in the game versus the Yankees, the Tigers would rally back to immediately score 2 runs of their own, but the damage was already done, resulting in an 8-5 loss. I hope both of these guys can figure out what's going on sooner rather than later, because you just hate to see major league players struggling with problems that are purely mental. Still, I don't think I've ever seen double play partners afflicted with the yips at the exact same time, which is certainly something the Tigers will want to see rectified, especially if they're ever going to pair these two together going forward.
Now, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed. Also, if you ever see something you'd like to see detailed in the Made the Cut video, whether that be a specific play or a narrative surrounding a certain player or team, feel free to reach out to my email, basebpoet@gmail.com. That's B-A-S-E, letter B, P-O-E-T @gmail.com. If I use your idea, I'll be sure to give you credit. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next one.